There's so much going through my head, and I'm really excited to share this information. So I've shaped boards for the last 30 years. Your surfboard's got rocker in it. Okay. Imagine I try to push that through the water. It would kind of like push up, and then it would kind of slow down like that. All right. The reason being that when you push it forward, this would displace water. So it's a displacement hull. If you're standing on it, it becomes even worse. But if I put it on rail, and I try to push that through the water, it would go through the water like a knife, which is way quicker because there's less drag. But the curve of the board means that the board would be turning. So it stands to reason that when you're on rail and when you turn your board, you're going to maintain speed throughout the turn. Whereas if you're standing on your board and you try to pivot and turn, you're just going to stall the board and slow it down. So in surfing, the more on rail your board is, the more hydrodynamic it is. So there's a saying in surfing where you've got to surf rail to rail. When you take off and you bottom turn, you're on rail, you're hydrodynamic, the board's accelerating, the board's turning. Then you transition from a toe edge to a heel edge, and then you go on rail again. So it's rail to rail. And you minimize the amount of time that you're actually standing on the board. If you do that, you're utilizing the draw of the energy off the bottom of the wave, the throw and speed off the top of the wave. So you're surfing with speed, power, and flow, as opposed to standing on the board, and every time you try to turn, the board decelerates. And then whenever the board decelerates, you try to accelerate. So you're fighting speed. You're not flowing with it. Speed. It determines the type of turn that you do. So think about a bicycle. Let's just say you're riding it really slowly and you're on a path and someone's in the way. You might twist the handlebars to go around someone. But if you're gunning it down a hill, you're going to lean. If you twist, you're going over the handlebars. And likewise, when you're driving a car, if you're hitting 100 on the highway, you're not going to do a fast turn. The car will flip. So the more speed you have, the more drawn out the turn is. But if you're in a parking lot and you want to do a tight turn, you could turn the steering wheel almost a full turn at low speed, and you'll get more turning done. So you may ask, all right, why and how is this even relevant to surfing? So if you've generated a lot of speed and you're going down the line, okay, when you turn, it's going to be an understeer and you're going to hold it longer. Just think of an aeroplane flying 600 kilometers an hour. It's probably turning over kilometers. Okay, but now think about the trick planes. If it wants to turn really tighter, it will fly up vertical, it will almost lose speed and stall, and come back straight down in the same plane. So why that's important is that when you're surfing, you're almost going to have to burn off speed on the bottom turn to go more vertical. And when you turn, if you want to do a real tight pivot, you're going to have minimal speed. But because you're at the top of the wave where it's more vertical, the potential to get more speed is greater. And when you drop in, you're going to get your speed back. So by going more vertical, you're using more of the wave's face. If you're using more of the wave's face, you're tapping into more of the lift off the bottom and the speed off the top. So by surfing top to bottom, you're harnessing more of the wave's energy and learning how to slow down and burn off speed so that you can go more vertical and do a tighter turn to utilize more wave face. It means that you're harnessing the wave's energy better. Let's look at the science. A circle, if you drop a pebble, it goes out. It's the most energy efficient way for energy to travel, and it travels as a wave. So that's important. The second important thing to know is that speed is distance over time. So if someone takes off and they're going mid-face, the mistake that they make is they look at the shortest distance and they think, okay, well, if I do that, I'm going to get there quicker. But watch a pro surf or a really good surfer. They go off the bottom, off the top, bang, off the bottom, off the top, crack, off the bottom, off the top, slash, whatever it is, okay? So they cover way more distance along a same wave, and they get there at the same time. So surely someone that's traveled further in a shorter time is surfing faster than someone that's traveled a short distance over the same time. So by surfing more top to bottom, it means that you're surfing faster. And to do that, all you got to do is reduce resistance on the board by surfing rail to rail. And to do that, you need to change the line that you're taking. Stop surfing mid-face and taking the shortest perceived distance and start taking the fastest line and take the path of least resistance. That will lead you to better, faster surfing. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe so we can get you more content.